let me tell you what's been going on. So, at first, my camera on my old phone broke, so I had to go get it replaced. I just realized I left the drawer open, and that's really bothering me. Hold on! So, my phone broke, and I had to get it replaced, and then the holidays came, and I got lazy. Well, not lazy, but like, depressed. But anyway, I'm back now, and I'm about to tell you guys 19 things I learned in 2019. So for me, 2019 was probably the year I grew the most, but also definitely the most taxing year on me. For a few reasons that I don't really want to get into, but I have grown a lot this year, and I feel like I'm more mature than I ever have been. So I want to impart some wisdom on you guys, or you can laugh because I'm 19 and I think I know so much, but really I'm going to find out that none of what I learned is actually true about life. But anyway, let's start with number 1, okay? So number 1 is when you're a gifted person, you're often lonely. For years, I personally I really haven't had many friends, and it's not because I'm not a likable person. I've been told by a lot of people that I am likable, but I feel like when you have a lot of substance to you and you're mature beyond your years, you know it's hard to find friends and hard to find people that stick. But when you do, those relationships are amazing. Number 2, you can't use the excuse I'm young, so I can. Like, a lot of people use the excuse to, experiment with drugs or, try things that would normally be out of their, what they know is not right or will really screw them up in the long run, but it's the excuse of I'm young, I have time. The point is, this time in our lives dictates what the rest of our future is going to be, because this is the start of our adulthood. If you really want to take root in something, it's time to do it now, and there's really no time to waste, because the point is you never know when your time is going to be, and you never know when your big break is going to be. And if you don't start taking things seriously now, it's going to be a lot harder to catch up and get rooted in something down the line. Number 3, this is a criticism to my generation. My generation gives everyone legend status after they die. Everyone who dies, every rapper who dies is a legend now. Okay, I don't know if anyone's getting upset right now, and I'm sorry, but listen, Juice WRLD was not a legend. Okay, he was a young adult who got fucked up and died, and unfortunately, that's the case with a lot. Did I just spit? That was legendary. Anyway, so Juice WRLD was a young adult who got caught up in drugs and died. And the point is, he's called a legend because he was a rapper. Yes, maybe he was talented lyrically. I don't know. I don't listen to him, so I'm not going to criticize him from that standpoint. But I'm just saying that not everyone who dies, not everyone who dies is a good person. Not everyone who dies is a legend, especially young. Lil Peep is not a legend. What did he promote that was legendary? Legends, okay, real legends, Bob Marley, Audrey Hepburn, people like that. And how does Lil Peep and Juice WRLD, how do they measure up to a Bob Marley? Number 4, you never miss out when someone leaves you. If someone wants to leave your life, let them leave. You're not don't think about what could have been, because you know what, there never would have been. Because if there would have been, then they would have been with you, unless you screwed up really bad. But the whole point is, life has a way of working itself out. But a lot of the times when someone does leave you, especially without much of an explanation, they just weren't meant to be in your life in the first place, and they can't appreciate who you really are. They don't see you for you. And them being absent just leaves room for the next right person to come in. So grieve the situation however you want, but not for as long as you want, because a lot of times we get saturated in our grief or in our missing someone and our reminiscing about things that never happened, that we get so caught up in that we forget to move on, or we don't want to. We become so saturated and we become so complacent in our, it's like a cocoon to think about, to fantasize about, oh, we could have been this, oh, we could have been that. It's safer to fantasize and get attached to an idea than actually go and meet someone else and start over. But that's really the healthy thing, and that could really reap benefits. Sitting there and like thinking about, oh, I could have been this with this guy or this girl, no, like that's not going to reap you any benefits. That's just going to be really sad and lonely. And I speak from experience, so I'm not judging, but I have learned, and so you better get on track with that learning as well. Number 5, be patient. Just wait. You don't need a relationship. You don't need that right person to come as soon as the wrong one leaves, okay? I went through a breakup. I'm not crying. Just an eyelash tried to make me look weak. Anyway. Yeah, like, I went through a breakup, and it wasn't like we were together for a long time. We weren't together for a long time at all, but, I was, like, in a already kind of emotionally vulnerable place when this kind of relationship thing happened. So I was feeling it more because I was already raw from other things in my life. And so I was projecting that rawness and the things that I hadn't handled in other aspects onto this potential relationship. So it felt like a long-term breakup because, again, I was projecting. And then I was like, well, God, like, when are you gonna send me Mr. Right? Like, we all do that stupid shit. Maybe it's not stupid. Like, we all, if your goal is to be with someone for the long term, and, that's one of your life goals, to be, like, married and have kids or whatever, you don't know when life is going to happen. You don't know God's timing. Number 6, I believe we're at. Your emotional and physical health is directly related to your spiritual health. You guys, if you are not feeding your faith, then your everything else is going to disintegrate. It's gonna go with Thanos. Okay, wait. Thanos didn't. I watched the movie. Okay, so Thanos didn't disintegrate. The people did, because you had the infinity. Anyway, yeah, you are going to fall apart if you don't have a relationship with God. I've seen that in my personal experience. And it's like, I was so depressed, I was so anxious, and I didn't have any solution. I tried therapy, I tried psychiatric drugs, and guess what? It didn't work. I was still a mess. A literal mess, okay? And when I finally started going to God, and I didn't like going to church. I mean, I went to church, but I'm not going to credit church for my well-being, because I don't want people to think that, oh, you have to be like influenced by people, or you have to be influenced by a certain person's preaching, because that's not how you get faith. Faith is by hearing, but faith is also by knowing God and reading His Word and things like that. So yes, church does help, but it's not why I believe or why I'm doing so well. It's because of the God I met at church, if that makes sense. Don't wait for an ex. That's number 7. Don't wait for an ex. This would have been relationship, this potential relationship I referenced earlier. Like, at first we were going to, like, I was gonna wait for him, and we talked about it, and he was like, oh, we're gonna get back together one day. I should have smelled the bullshit. I don't think it was his intention to be a bad person at all, or, like, you know, string me on. I just think that he didn't know what he wanted. And if he did, maybe he didn't want to hurt my feelings. But, like, don't wait for someone, okay? You know, if you've broken up with them, or you're like, just live your life. Just live your life, and again, whatever is meant to be will be. Okay, so do your part and let it fall in your lap. Like, obviously you can't control all the variables of, like, when it's going to happen, but you need to know that, like, if you have an expectancy of something, then you have to act as if you have to do your part to make it happen. I don't know when my life is going to take off, when this YouTube thing is going to happen, but I feel like it's going to happen. And I have to live like that. Even if I only have, like 30 around subscribers, maybe even less, maybe a little less than 30 right now, I need to live and I need to act like it's going to happen. I can't just, like, recycle links to old videos. I have to be refreshing myself, and I need to be constantly putting things out there to make it happen. So I think this is 9. Codependency and needing connection is different. A lot of people will shame you because you understand the importance of having relationships, because they're afraid to get close themselves. Okay? Codependency is different. Codependency is wrong. If you're codependent on someone, then you need to back off, because you need to be your own person. But needing connection and not buying into this attitude where it's like, F y'all, I'm just gonna do my thing, and y'all could stay over there while I get my bag. No, that's so wrong, and that's so gross. First of all, how are you gonna get a bag if you don't know how to network with people? If you don't know how to take mentoring from people who have already been there? So no, you don't need no one, and it's not F y'all feelings, I'm about my own. No, stop being like that, because you're being arrogant, you're being rude. You're being rude and you're being arrogant, and you're so, it just shows how, like, conceited you are. Really, it shows your conceit. Because you know what, if you would step off your high horse, then you would realize that you need other people to get to where you're going. And it's not weak, it's how it works. And that's the thesis. Anyway, my number 10 is piggybacking off of that, and it is stop being self-centered. Stop being self-centered, okay? It's not all about you, and I'm talking to myself right now. Selena, it's not all about you. Our perspectives as individuals, it's not the only one. It's not the only one out there, and we need to stop acting like, oh, I've had the worst life. Listen, if you're one of those people who's like, oh, I've had the worst life, then you're a victim. And if you're one of those people who said, yeah, I had the worst life, but, you know, I got through it, but I still had the worst. You're still a victim, okay? You still have a victim mentality. You're comparing and you're twisting it so that way it fits your agenda and your beliefs. That's self-centered, and that's being a victim, okay? Love yourself, but don't make the world about you. Okay. 12. If you believe in something, you better know why. You better look up the facts. You better fact check everything you believe, okay? Now, I've had, as you guys know, I'm a Christian. And I've had people try to challenge my beliefs, which is totally, I like that. I like that people approach me and are like, hey, you know, why do you believe this? Do you believe this because you go to church and your pastor tells you to? Or like, what do you know? What facts do you have to back it up? Have you looked into other religions? Have you researched? And it's like, I love that. Because I believe that no matter if you believe in a faith, a religion, whatever you want to call it, or even if you believe in like a product. Let's say you really like this hair product. Why do you believe in it? Is it that they don't do animal testing? Do you know that they don't do animal testing? What makes you want to invest your time and your mental energy into believing in it, advocating for it. Number 12, the person you are intimidated by shows your insecurity the most. Okay, the person that you find yourself like, oh, this person is too much for me, like cowering inside of yourself because of their presence, or because of, like, a lot of times when we are intimidated by people, we don't really know why we feel that way until we like take an introspective look into ourselves. Number 13, denial is one hell of a drug. You can deny something to the bank for the rest of your life and be like comfortably numb. It's like, we really need to wake up. We really need to stop being in such a denial and so comfortable with it, Like, stop scrolling on your phone whenever you see something you don't like. Stop defending people who have done bad things just because you like them. Stop doing that. Stop thinking that ex is going to come back to you when they already said that they weren't. We just need to be more truthful with ourselves. When you say 2020, you see the full scope of things. And I feel like a lot of people, are saying, oh, 2020 is the year where I get my bag, or 2020 is the year where I get married. For me, I want 2020 to be the year where I find truth. I want to see things clearly, and not just from my perspective. I want to see things for what they are in this year. And that's really how you make the advances in other aspects, when you know the truth. Number 14, spiritual warfare is real, okay? I feel like when I am at my best spiritually, when I'm running at full speed, spiritually, physically, getting things done, that really means something, that are really going to benefit me in the long run. When I'm doing things that mean something, I get attacked, I get hit hard, I get sick, something happens to my car, I started, typing up stuff, preparing stuff, more elaborately for my videos, and my phone messed up, my laptop wasn't charging. I had my laptop not charged, this is true, for a few days, and then I was like, what if this is spiritual? And at first I was like, no, it's just technical, but then I was like, wait, why don't I just pray? And I just tried it, so I was like, I prayed about it, I was like, God, if this is spiritual warfare, then I just asked that this laptop start charging in the name of Jesus, and it did, after days of not working. And I know that sounds like a little kooky to some of you, but like, just, I don't know, just try to look for, I'm not saying that you have to like, be, totally like, in the name of Jesus you go, but like, I'm just trying to encourage you to, like, when things start getting wacky around you, try to look at it from a spiritual lens. Just try it and see if things start to make sense, or things start to become more apparent around you. Just let me know. Let me know what happens. 15, you never know who you're influencing. I remember in my Get to Know Me video, I had some questions. I asked for people to submit questions, and one of them was, how do you stay so positive? And it was like, man, people really look at me like I'm just super, super happy, And I love that. It's true. Well, not always, but who's super happy all the time? But you never know who is perceiving you in a way that really is going to impact them and make a difference in their lives. And I think that's amazing, and I think that should put a good, healthy amount of fear in you. Like caution. Because you don't know what your words are going to do. Sometimes you could say something to someone, you could just give someone a word, and years later you reap the benefits that, they come back to you and they tell you, hey, you changed me in a way that's really profound. 16, this might sound a little, I don't know, but being an attention seeker can be a gift sometimes, if you use it right. I am an attention seeker. Not like crazy, like, oh, I just did this and it's so crazy and just being outlandish, but I love attention. I do. I can admit that about myself because why? Because I have learned to harness that and not seek attention in a way that is destructive, because that's so easy to do and we see it with YouTube culture all the time. But when you know how to get people's attention, people who are attention seekers are usually that way because they know they're good at getting attention. And that's not a bad thing. If you have something important to say, then use it to your advantage. If you are someone who loves attention, but you also have a big heart, draw attention to that. Don't use it in a way that like you're good at getting attention, so you're gonna make it all about me or look at what I have, you know? If you have a gift where people are drawn to you, and that's the thing, a lot of people are drawn to me. And maybe that's why I like attention so much, because I could just naturally feel it click. But yeah, if you're an attention seeker, learn how to hone that. Because you could really make a big difference if you're someone who is good at garnering that. I know it sounds crazy, and when I was little, I was criticized for being such an attention seeker, rightfully so, because a lot of times when you're a kid and you're trying to get attention, it's with some dumb shit. But since I've gotten older, I've found it really to be a tool for me. 17, going with this, being loud is not being heard. Going outside and screaming for to save the whales is not like you don't make a point, you don't impact people by just yelling about your opinion or yelling about your cause. You need to be able to deliver something, like arguments. Okay, let's talk about arguments. If you're arguing about something, yelling is not going to get your point across. Yelling is not going to get the other person to see it the way you see it, or even entertain the idea of seeing it how you do. You need to be calm, and you need to know how to articulate yourself to be heard. That's how you're heard, not by just screaming and being like, nah, this is how I feel. Maybe it's good that you feel that way. Maybe you're supporting something positive, but if you don't know how to articulate it, then it's worthless. It's fruitless. Number 18, everyone has a cause. Everyone has something they believe in because it's personal to them, because it's affected them. And your cause might not be the next person, the person next to you's cause. The thing that you care about and the thing that you're impacted and that you feel your heart being stirred up for the most might not be what the person next to you cares about, I have a friend and he loves animals, and that's his cause, and he's just a very loving person in general, but I feel like animals are his cause, and that's fantastic, but I don't have the heart for animals that he has. My heart is for children, and staying in your lane is okay. You don't need to, if your boyfriend loves animals and you love children and that's where your heart is impacted the most, you don't need to change, and you're not a bad person because you don't that's not what you're drawn to, usually what your heart is pulled at the most is your calling, part of your calling, I feel like my YouTube channel, and hopefully, God willing, being an influencer, on a wider scale, I feel like that's just a venue, an avenue to get to my largest goal. Why did my freaking emails just pop up on the side? I got distracted. Anyway, but I feel like what I'm doing with YouTube and modeling is just a gateway to what I want to do later on in life, which is advocacy. I want to advocate for abused children, specifically kids who have been sexually abused and disabled children. And that's, what my main goal is. And so my cause is something that I am always trying to keep in my view, you know. I'm always reading up about organizations that, you know, help children, or reading about, you know, stories, researching how trauma affects people, because I want to be well informed for when I am ready to advocate on a wide scale. And so if you have a cause, if you have something that stirs your heart, go after it, because that is going to just change the world, not only for you, make your life experience so much better, but also impact people around you, even those that you didn't even imagine you would reach. My voice is getting really nasally. I don't know why. I think it's because I have CP and the air does not go in the way it's supposed to. I also have a deviated septum. Anyway, getting back on track, on topic. 19. This is not like a life lesson, but this is like something that I learned through like research and all that stuff. Climate change is real. Right now it's 60 degrees in January in New Jersey. Unheard of. But it's not because of plastic, honey. Your plastic straws are not making the earth hotter, okay? In fact, it's a little 5G device that you have on your phone, on your pocket all the time. 5G is military grade technology. And we have our phone towers, we have it shoved to our bodies, and you're like, why are we getting cancer? And it's like, the plastic. No, it's the military grade weapons and all of the radiation surrounding us. That's not a conspiracy theory. It's fact. It's science. But wait, we have abandoned science in 2019 too, so oops. Sorry for using logic. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. I hope that I didn't just make you mad, but if I did make you mad, maybe there's a reason for that. Reference lesson number, what would it be? 11, I think? Yeah, go back, rewatch this, go to number 11, and find out for yourself why that triggered you. Okay, love you, bye, see you next video. Thank you for watching, seriously. I can't wait to make more videos for you guys. Again, get back on track, because I have been slacking. Next time I do that, just yell at me. Okay, thanks, love you, bye.